I mean, I read the paragraphs. I read very well. Great comprehension. I read everything there is to read, and I said, we can't lose this case.
Last night, absolute chaos. Donald Trump looked like a guy live tweeting his own temper tantrum. One minute it was keep calm and tariff on, the next, he's posting a picture of himself looking like a dollar store version of the Penguin from Batman Returns umbrella, and all declaring that he alone will put America first. Then came a wall of text that basically translated to, tariffs are amazing, everything's unfair, and I'm very upset. Because here's what happened. After the Supreme Court shut down his global tariff scheme under the International Emergency Economic Powers Act, he didn't pause. He didn't regroup. He went, fine, different button. Now he says he's invoking Section 122 of the Trade Act of 1974 to slap a 10% tariff on basically every country. There's just one small detail. Section 122 is meant for a serious international payments crisis. The United States doesn't have one. Even trade policy experts like Brian Riley have pointed out that you can't just use it because you're mad. And even if he could, that authority expires after 150 days. So it's like rage quitting a game, then immediately starting a new one with the same broken controller. And he didn't stop there. He also yanked the de minimis exemption, meaning cheaper imported goods. Under $800 now get hit with tariffs too. So if you are enjoying slightly less expensive online purchases, not anymore. That's apparently collateral damage in his grudge match with the court. But wait, it gets weirder. While all this was happening, he reportedly directed FCC Chair Brendan Carr to push a Pledge America campaign. The idea? Broadcasters should air patriotic programming, start the day with the Star-Spangled Banner or the Pledge of Allegiance, run daily American history segments, the whole Norman Rockwell cinematic universe. Meanwhile, regular Americans are out here trying to survive rent, groceries, healthcare, student loans. People are budgeting dentist appointments like luxury vacations. And the answer from the top is, have you tried more patriotic programming? Then came the Oval Office victory lap. He posted that he had signed a global 10% tariff, effective almost immediately. Big announcement energy, very triumphant, very mission accomplished. But the underlying question remains, who pays for tariffs? Spoiler alert, it's not foreign governments cutting checks to Washington. It's consumers and businesses absorbing the cost. And the economic data rolling in? Not exactly fireworks. Core PCE inflation ticked up around 3%. GDP came in roughly 1.5%, well below the bold predictions we'd been hearing. Remember the 3.5%? The 5%? At one point, someone even floated 15%, like we were about to invent a new continent. Instead, growth slowed. Officials blamed everything from government shutdown effects to transition periods. But when trade policy uncertainty spikes, investment tends to freeze. That's not partisan, that's Economics 101. At a press conference, Trump's reassurance was classic. You'll see the results in a year. Which sounds comforting until you realize last year it was wait until this year. And this year it's wait until next year.
That's because of tariffs. And we're going to keep it going the same way. And you're going to start to see the results in a year from now when all those factories start that are under construction right now. You see all the construction numbers are so good.
That's not a growth strategy. That's a subscription service to optimism. Then Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent was asked whether businesses might get tariff refunds if courts ultimately rule against the administration. His answer? Essentially, don't hold your breath. He hinted at litigation, not refunds.
Well, it's going to be a food fight going after $175 billion, isn't it? So
I got a feeling the American people won't see it.
Yeah. Okay.
For companies that already paid millions, that's not soothing. And that was just the economic side of the circus. The administration also signaled support for continued glyphosate use, the active ingredient in Roundup, despite years of controversy and lawsuits over links to non-Hodgkin lymphoma. At the same time, the EPA moved to loosen certain emission standards on coal plants, including limits on mercury, a known neurotoxin. Then there's the infrastructure subplot. Remember the Gordie Howe International Bridge between Detroit and Windsor? Canada largely funded it. It's a public alternative to the privately owned Ambassador Bridge. Suddenly, opposition to the new bridge flared up right after the Ambassador Bridge owner donated big money to a pro-Trump super PAC. The timing raised eyebrows, to say the least. And in the background, scandals, investigations, rumors swirling around various officials. Washington has started to feel less like a functioning government and more like a prestige drama where every character is either under investigation, flying private on the taxpayer dime, or both. Meanwhile, business leaders are openly panicking about tariff uncertainty. Investors want clarity, lenders want answers, shareholders want refunds.
Great to see you. So, this has got to be a pretty big day in your world. What has the reaction been?
It's not a great day for me. We were humming along nicely until this morning. Here's what's happening on the ground. I know you've been talking about the politics and the policy, but let's talk about a business making $100 million in sales. It might have paid out $5 million in the last 14 months on these tariffs. And they're in my portfolio. I got phone calls from our customers, from our lenders because we borrowed against our line of credit, and from our shareholders that we reduced distributions on during this period waiting to settle on the tariffs. They all want their money back. Now, to be compliant, what am I supposed to do? I don't even know how this is going to get filed. It's going to be with Treasury, not the IRS, I assume. I'm going to try and get a meeting with staffers, best of staffers, when I get to the State of the Union next week to see if they can give me some guidance, because my head's getting squeezed from the top and the bottom to be compliant. And every business in America is going through this right now. There are people that want their money back within the distribution, shareholder, and lender system. And for me, and I'm telling you right now, you're the first to hear it, I'm setting up a resource called wondertrust.com, hiring, if not hundreds, thousands of accountants and lawyers, because I don't know how else to be compliant. And I'm going to use them with my companies. What else are we supposed to do? Because everybody wants their money back. And I don't know what the policy is going to be on that. It's not a great afternoon for me, to be honest with.
Executives are scrambling to hire accountants and lawyers just to figure out compliance. That's not America First confidence, that's corporate migraine season. Here's the surreal part. In the middle of all this court battles, inflation data, trade uncertainty, we're told the real solution is more tariffs, more symbolism, more spectacle. Americans aren't asking for theatrical umbrellas and social media cosplay. They're asking for stability, predictability. An economy where you don't need a whiteboard and 3 attorneys just to price your products next quarter. But instead, we got keep calm and tariff on. And that pretty much sums up the week.